Welcome to another episode of Frozen Oil. Once again, it's Rich, and the Dallas Stars defeat the Edmonton Oilers in Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals by a score of 5-3. We'll get into this scoring summary in a second. I just wanted to start off the show by saying to everyone, just take it easy. Lots of finger pointing after Game 3, and a ton of calls and text messages after the game. It's amazing how one loss can just turn everybody's momentum around and get all down. But I'm going to say this off the top of the show. I've been saying it for the last two rounds. I have a feeling about this team and this year. And generally speaking, for this game and this series so far, I firmly believe the Oilers could have won Game 2. It was a tie game in the third period, and for Game 3, great start to the game. Fell apart there in the second period, but they answered before the third period and tied the game up. And again, just a unfortunate play there. Skinner should have had that save. Tons of finger pointing. But before this, series even started, before this playoffs even started, I mean, we have to give up a game per series, in my opinion, because of our goaltending. It's not just, pointing the fingers at the goalies. I mean, at the end of the day, we do not have a proven superstar goalie. We're hoping that Skinner, becomes that person. But, I mean, as far as a proven track record, solid goalie back there, I mean, we just don't have it. So you're gonna lose a game, a series, because of it. Hopefully not more than that. So yesterday's game, we're gonna give that one to that factor, the goaltending situation. Personally, I wanted that solidified prior to the postseason beginning, but this is where we are, and we got to deal with it. So being down 2-1 right now, I mean, yeah, it sucks because we had a chance to win all three of those games. But I mean, just looking at the overall play of the Oilers, the domination in certain points of the games. I mean, the first period in the game yesterday, it was just domination. And watching all this playoff hockey, especially for the Oilers, for the majority of my life, I mean, if you're far behind, whether it's depth, whether it's effort, whether it's skill, whatever the case is, you're not going to dominate portions of the game. And they dominated portions of the game in Game 1. They dominated portions of the game in Game 2, and they dominated the first period in Game 3. So it's just a matter of unfortunate bounces, lucky goals, and that's why I believe we're in this position. So let's keep positive and stay strong for the boys, because Game 4 is going to be gigantic, and I firmly believe they're going to tie this series up after Game 4. And if you look at the majority of the Dallas goals, I don't know if I've seen one goal that's been like a nice goal. Maybe that Jason Robertson slap shot yesterday, but I mean the majority of these goals, I mean, a broken stick that gives the puck a weird kind of trajectory. It bounces off Draisaitl's skate. It leads to a goal. That goal, the fourth goal, wasn't a nice goal. A lot of their goals are just deflections and lucky bounces. So I mean, we're not gonna use those as excuses for losing games, but I mean, just some unfortunate luck. And like I said, when you're not getting power play opportunities at the rate that you should be getting them, all these games are going to be tight. I mean, 5-3 is the final score. It's an empty net goal that makes it a 5-3 game, but otherwise it's a 1-goal game. And Desharnais hit a post there prior to when it was a 3-3 game, so it could have went either way. But overall, looking at the series, I don't think Dallas is dominating the Oilers. It's a far different feeling than 2 years ago when we played Colorado in the Western Conference Finals. And so still lots of hope, still lots of positivity for sure for the boys to come through. And we'll see if I'm right after Game 4. So hope for the best. So let's get into the scoring summary really quick here. Zach Hyman opens up the scoring 2 minutes into the game. McDavid Bouchard assists there. Another deflection from Zach Hyman. He's got 13 goals in the playoffs. Incredible stat. That's what we got him for, and he is providing. Like, that's amazing production. Majority of his points are goals. You can't ask for more than that from Zach Hyman. He's taken a lot of shots throughout these playoffs, and deserving of those goals for sure. Following that at 7:37, Connor McDavid makes it a 2-0 game. So, like I said, can't ask for a better start than that for Game 3. You're at home, you're up 2-0, the crowd's into it. And then in the second period, Jason Robertson makes it a 2-1 game. And like I said, lots of unfortunate circumstances. Oilers get caught on a really long shift. They can't get the puck out on multiple occasions, and it just, again, unfortunate series of events that leads to this goal, making it a 2-1 game. And then, they scored 3 goals in 3 minutes, so very shortly after that, Robertson ties the game up with a second assist from Hintz, who was missing from the first 2 games. And again, unlucky bounce. There was probably 4 Oilers around the puck when it rebounds, and it goes straight to Robertson's stick for a backhand. He makes no mistake, ties the game up. And then at the 9:08 mark, almost a minute later, Wyatt Johnson gets the go-ahead goal, makes it 3-2. And not too long after that, at the 19:07 mark, Adam Henrique, who's back in the game, I was so happy to hear he was back. And he ties the game up 3-3 going into the third period. This is where a lot of people are pointing the fingers, but again, Stuart Skinner is not he's not getting paid $8 million like Bobrovsky and $10 million like some of these other elite goalies. He's still a young guy. He's still a young, goaltender, and you're gonna get some of these goals scored on you. Unfortunately, that's just what it is. So, Jason Robertson, from an almost impossible angle, tucks it in on the side of Stuart Skinner and kind of banks it in off him for the 4-3 goal there for Dallas to go ahead. And then Miro Heiskanen scores an empty netter. The Oilers can't come back, not enough time. And when Dallas wants to shut it down, they just need that lead. And it becomes a 5-3 final. Dallas wins the game. So one game note I wanted to focus on. and it really, really frustrates myself, as a fan. It's like you have a unbelievable fourth line, and not to knock on Derek Ryan, he's been playing very well, he's been giving it his all, you can tell, but I just don't see why you're moving Connor Brown up off that line and moving Derek Ryan down. Like, keep that line together, don't mess with it, and figure it out somewhere else, because that line is perfect the way it is. Even though Connor Brown, moved lines, you're not going to have that same synergy with your line mates, the same chemistry, and would have liked to see that line stay together and just kind of figure out the chemistry somewhere else on the third line with other players. But don't touch that fourth line, and they messed with that fourth line by swapping, Ryan for Brown. Not to say that Brown had a bad game. I mean, he's flying out there. Like, he looks possessed. He looks like a different player. He is skating so hard, so fast. He's chasing pucks down. Pucks that you would think he wouldn't even have a chance to compete on. Like, he is hustling, and he's flying out there, and it's awesome to see. But it's questionable when you start mixing up the lines, like when you don't need to. When you have a line that has success, just leave it. Don't switch it around. Just going back to Skinner. Skinner's a streaky goalie. We know that. Like, Skinner is a streaky goalie, but when he's good, he's good. But in my opinion, the best thing to have in the goaltending category is a solid goalie that is steady for you. He's not going to, always play unreal, and he's not going to ever play really bad. He's just going to be solid. So you just want to see solid goaltending, and that fourth goal, you just don't want to see it. I'm not sure if we can blame Skinner for, the first three goals, but that fourth goal for sure, it's on him. But it's one goal, right? So, a lot of people calling for Pickard to come into the net. I think it's a little, early for that. But me personally, whether it's Pickard, whether it's Skinner, at the end of the day, the boys got to play better in front of him, and maybe the result will be different, right? So, but like I said, still confident in the Oilers. Really looking forward to Game 4. Shots on net, still in favor of the Oilers, 30-22. So, Dallas is getting that solid goaltending from Ottinger so far in this series, and the hits column, Oilers step it up enormously, 42-19. So when you're ahead in that department, you're ahead in the shots, usually you're going to come up with the win, and unfortunately the Oilers didn't do it. Again, some unlucky breaks for them, some unlucky bounces, and it results in another winnable game that ends up in a loss. So, hate to see that. It's unfortunate, but like I said, we're not gonna call this series already like a lot of people are, because, like I said, I'm watching these games. I've watched every single Oiler playoff game, and I'll tell you right now that it doesn't look anything like the Oilers are being dominated throughout any game. I mean, if you think about the late 90s, early 2000, Oiler playoff campaigns, and you'd go up against, a Dallas or Colorado, and you're hoping for lucky bounces to win games, because if it's going to come down to sheer skill, it's probably going to go the other way. And I just don't feel that this Oilers team is anywhere near those previous Oilers teams when it comes to the skill department. So it's a tough loss, but confident we're going to get it back for Game 4, and we're going to keep it positive here on Frozen Oil. So that's going to do it for today's episode. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider subscribing if you haven't, and most importantly, go Oilers, go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. So we're going to go straight to the scoring summary. At the 4:34 mark of the first period, Evander Kane makes it 1-0 on a nice pass from Draisaitl.